Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Estiloz, and I'm here with one of the stars of the great new and funny comedy, Werewolves Within, coming to a theater near you. And I'm speaking with Harvey Guillen. Harvey, it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Pleasure to talk to you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have to tell you, this movie was so surprising and so funny. I was expecting your typical sort of horror film based on the title Werewolves Within, and it really threw me a curveball. How much fun was it for you to work on this project?
Oh, fun doesn't even begin to describe it. It was so great. Just this ensemble, just from the first day on set and getting to know everybody, their personalities, just we meshed so well. It was just like meeting an old friend or like family. It was a great experience, and everyone's so great at what they do. It's just like perfectly cast and so great. Great script, great ensemble, great crew. It was fantastic.
Now, I'm going to leave it up to you to describe this very quirky film. So clearly, werewolves are in it, but there's a whole lot more to it. Give us an idea of what the story's about.
Yeah, it's basically about a small town where they just introduced the idea of a new pipeline going through it, and the small town's divided between voting against it or for it, and it really kind of shows that there's a little bit of a werewolf in all of us. You know, when given the choice, sometimes humans make the wrong choices, and it really plays out in different ways of social status and sexuality. With me and my partner being in a small town and how we're perceived, and maybe we think we're being perceived and living in this town where everyone has a different reason for their choices, whether it be, again, economic or status or love. It's just what does it take for your own werewolf to come out? That's basically it.
You know, the one of the many funny things about this film is that each of the characters, each of the ensemble has their own little particular quirk. They all seem to be a little bit off when you first meet them, as well as throughout the film. You know, when you were going through the casting process, were these characters strongly defined, or did you find your way as the process went on?
I think everyone came in with a really strong understanding of what these characters were. I remember having the first kind of read through and seeing what everyone was doing. Because, when you read something in your head, you're making that perception of that character. So you're like, oh, I wonder, yeah, this is how I would think this character says this line or whatnot. And then when you see it unfold, you're like, oh, yeah, that's even better, So it was great because it was just, once everyone was put together, the ensemble was just so strong, and you feel comfortable as an actor, just like, oh, you feel like this is good. Because sometimes, you can get to set and you haven't met the cast and you haven't met how they're going to portray their characters. And sometimes you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's a choice, because you have no control over any other person's choices as an actor. Mm-hmm. But in this show, or in this movie, everyone was making such brilliant choices that you forgot you were in a movie. You're just like watching and you're like, oh, that's right, I'm in a movie with you.
One of the things I enjoyed about it is that it seemed to be somewhat spontaneous, some of the moments, particularly when you were all sequestered in that house together and the events unfold. Was there a bit of improvisation allowed by the director as you were going through this process?
Absolutely. He was so great. I mean, we have such an amazing script already. So the script, stands on its own as being great. But it's always nice as an actor to be given that little bit of liberty. Like, how will the character say this line? Still saying, getting from A to B, but just say it in the way that you think the character would. And I would say that 90% of the time, it just was flawless. It was just perfect. And seeing the movie and the final cut, it's just a combination of that. It's just, that's what makes it real and feels organic, is when it feels that you're just watching this happen in the moment. That's what I think makes for great film and television.
Now, what's very cool about this movie is that it combines some scary moments, some really surprising scenes towards the end. I won't want to give anything away, but as it's getting closer to the werewolf being exposed, if you will, there were just some great jolts as well. So what was it like working with the director, Josh Rubin, in terms of, preparing for these moments and how he sort of orchestrated and made this great combination of horror and yet fun and comedy?
I think Josh is so talented. I think he's such an incredible director and overall human being. Just his energy brought a lot of what we like to think it's what makes the movie so cohesive and linear, is because his approach to every scene, the energy that he brings to it, was he had a vision already set in his mind, and so he made it clear to us, like, this piece is going to connect to this in this way, and then but feel free to play around and like have a good time with it. So he knew what he was doing, and we were just connecting all like the train links together. But he's such an amazing director, so I'd love to work on something with him in the future as well, because it's and we're talking about it, but who knows, it's just like he's so incredible.
Yeah, I think with a horror film, you have the opportunity to maybe even tap into your little kid and have some fun with it, like Halloween. What was that like for you, if that, pertained?
I think it's just fun to go to set every day and do what you love, period, getting to wake up and do that, but also to do it on a movie like this and a project like this. And this is a genre, again, that, the director loves. So it's always great to meet someone who is really passionate about that genre, because they won't let it fall out the wayside. It's just like, it's so, what they love, they live and breathe it. And that's always great. I'm always excited when I meet someone who loves what they do, because it's like, you're in good hands. You're like, okay, this is good. Because a lot of times you might meet directors who are like, I direct mostly comedy, but not dramas, or dramas, but not comedies. And so this was the perfect formula just for this whole project.
Now, I wasn't aware going into this film that it's also based on a popular video game. Were you familiar with it, or are you a video game aficionado yourself?
I knew it was based on a video game, and that specific video game, Werewolves, is something that I hadn't played personally, but I had played the in-person rendition of it. When you can do it with people, it's the same rules and the same idea. So it was weird to play a character in a movie that was part of a game that you could play as a video game, and you can take the same rules and play it in person in a room. And so it was weird. It was just like, oh, this is kind of cool, but books always get made into movies or whatnot. So I saw it that way. I was like, from the original book came Werewolves Within.
Did you have a favorite video game back in the day?
I'm a classic kind of guy. I think Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers is the classic one for me. Just because it took me forever just to get to King Koopa. And finally when I did, it was just like the biggest accomplishment. And by then everyone had already moved on to like Sega and all of these other super games, and I was still in that world. But I conquered that world, and I stayed in that world, and why keep exploring new places? You conquer this world, stay in Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I'm a classic Pac-Man person, but I always, as the game gets further into it, I get nervous and frightened, and I just back right into the gobbling things that catch you.
I can never perfect Pac-Man, and to this day, it's just frustrating even thinking about it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I want to thank you for spending time with me here. I apologize if we ran a little long, and just great success with this film and your career. The film is Werewolves Within, coming to a theater on June 25th, and also online on demand on July 5th. Or July 2nd. So again, thank you very much, Harvey, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.